In the first two parts of this programme, we've heard about the creation of a new brand and marketing campaign and an exciting e-business strategy developed by the respective working groups of the Golf Forum. In the final part, we shall hear from the quality assurance team who've been working to better the customer experience at Irish golf courses and in doing so, improving profitability for Irish golf businesses.
Pre-Ryder Cup, as we all know, we enjoyed a fantastic reputation as a golf destination, high quality, challenging golf. But pre-Ryder Cup, as you all know, or post-Ryder Cup, as you all know, and due to a lot of circumstances outside our control, the gloss came off the product. There was recession, God knows what else, and everything was going pear-shaped. Within the industry, it became very obvious that if we were going to continue to compete internationally with a world-class golf product, we'd have to take a long, hard look of how we actually did golf in Ireland. So, with the backing of Fáilte Ireland, Golf Forum, as you all know, was set up, and every area of importance of the product, I know I'm repeating a little bit, but just to put it into context, we looked at where it was going, the forum on my left, where in terms of balance the product had spread, how it could be marketed, how technology could play a part, and you've heard all of that now this morning, right down to the quality and standards of the courses, and how the product was perceived by both domestic and overseas visitors, and it's in this regard that our committee came into being.
Okay. What I just want to do is to add to what Joe has said, and I suppose we've heard this morning about a lot of firsts, and this is another first in terms of having a quality and standards system and framework for the golf industry here in Ireland. And again, it endorses, as Joe said, the findings of the KPMG report, but also having a quality and a standards system and criteria and award certainly endorses and supports a lot of what we heard earlier about a brand campaign, about an e-business campaign, and it provides that sort of competitive edge, if you like, for clubs who are going out selling their product in relation into the market, saying that it is endorsed or it is sort of underpinned by a national standards and quality framework. So, just to give you a bit of flavour in terms of what happened in relation to that. And I suppose we already have now 32 courses, and later on today we will award those courses for gaining and achieving this standard, and indeed we have another 50 in the pipeline ready to be assessed. But again, as Joe said, we're using the opportunity today to come and talk to us, to promote it, to get it out there, so that we have scale in the context of that. And like all the previous works that's been done by the various committees, there was a journey, and the journey had a destination. And again, from a Fáilte Ireland perspective, to thank very much Joe and his team, who all worked with us in the testing. It was very robust, it was very intensive, but we got through it, and I think with the piloting and the testing and the retesting, we now have a very, very useful model. And I suppose the important thing about a standard or a quality for a particular sector is that it must be comparable, it must be part of a national system. And so therefore what we did is positioned the golf sector onto the national standards and the framework that we have for other sectors, and that forces us, if you like, or encourages us to go through a series of steps in terms of positioning your sector in terms of, you know, what is the benefit of having a standard? Is the sector ready for it? What minimum standards do we want?
Standards and having standards is a very essential part of any business, especially if you want to be successful in business. And I'm sure everybody here has their standards set in their own business, which they carry out on a day-to-day basis. But I think in the hospitality sector, the golf business didn't have standards set until now. I've been in the golf business for over 40 years, and I started in Leopardstown with the great John Jacobs. And I remember I was 14 years of age at that time, and the amount of standards that he set down at that particular time for running a golf centre. And today that golf centre is still in existence and probably one of the best golf centres in the country. And that all came from the standards that he had laid down at the time. So he was a great man. We at Powerscourt were asked to take part in the pilot scheme last summer. Like my colleague Joe Flynn said, boy, was that a scary telephone call. Will we or will we not? But I was confident that with the experience that I had from my younger days, that we were well up to scratch with what we would had put in place at Powerscourt. So I said, yes, we will go ahead, and we did. And it was a tremendous learning curve for us there, because we were not 100% in everything. The advice that we got from the assessors was invaluable, and it was really a credit to them, and that we're here today having the assessment gone through, because it is so important that even though you may think that everything that you're doing is 100% right, believe me, sometimes it's not. The lead on from that was that the assessors did find that there was flaws in most of the places in health and safety. And in fairness to Fáilte Ireland, they stuck on a course down in Tullamore, invited everybody to it, and it was a very informative course. As we all know, health and safety is a very, very complex area within our industry and in every industry. And to be up to date with that is very, very important. You know, in the present climate, things are not good, as we know, and everybody is on a downturn. But one thing I will say, that we should not down our standards. That's the future for the Irish golf product, is to maintain and keep our standards as high as we can. And being a member of this now and having qualified, I feel very proud that we can keep our standards up like that. And remember one thing, that if you have good standards, it's to your benefit, but it's also to the benefit of your clients, your customers, and your green fee people. So thanks very much for the afternoon. Good luck.
This is an inflection point, because we now have to move away from talking about strategy to implementation. And the truth of the matter is that in most instances, where strategies fail is not actually in the conception of the strategy, but actually in the energy and the drive to kind of sustain and implement. And we have a fantastic opportunity, because we've been given the resources. We can't say we haven't been resourced to do this, and the energy now has to be to convert the strategy, the branding strategy, for example, the e-business strategy, the quality standards to realities. What I'm encouraged by is, for example, we're already moving on the quality standards. We've had 30 courses who now have met the standard and have been certified. We'll be launching the branding initiative in early April, and we will come to conclusions on the on detail of the e-business strategy in the coming 6 weeks. So we're actually in that fascinating move of a bridge from strategy to implementation, and I think the energy has got to be now in implementing and learning from the experience, rather than trying to reinvent the strategy. Have this as a real learning experience that will deliver more golfers to Ireland, more Irish golfers to play in Ireland, and therefore more revenues to the clubs, to the sector, and to the economy as a whole.
It's all about engagement. Now really what we need is the industry to take ownership of this programme. The industry, there's a real opportunity for the industry here. You know, we've developed with the industry these key platforms, a quality platform, a new brand, and also a new e-business platform. They need to engage with us, help us with things like the online tee times availability search, help us with the brand activation programme, because they really need, we're going to make a promise. They'll be delivering that promise on the ground. So our marketing message will tell people what to expect. They need to make sure then they deliver on that service delivery. And ultimately the service and quality aspects underpins it all by making sure that we don't make promises that we can't meet. So really this is us kind of handing a baton over to the industry, or at least holding the baton at the same time, saying, come on guys, both of us need to work on this together.
And in a sense, actually, success, in my view, will be is that, in a way, is that the Golf Forum becomes in itself a less important part of the agenda, that actually it's the people who are in the industry, the golf clubs, the tour operators, the hotel industry, who have come together, that actually, and the development agencies, Tourism Ireland and Fáilte Ireland, that actually it becomes their business and their strategy and their implementation process rather than the forum. So I feel the shift in terms of what the forum does will change, and it now becomes owned by the industry. And if that happens and it's implemented, then I think that's success.
This has been a digest of what was an intensive set of presentations. If you would like more information on the new golf brand, e-business strategy, the quality assurance platform, Irish golf publicity, or fan visits, please contact Michelle McCreevy in Fáilte Ireland or email golf@fáilteireland.ie. If you would like to learn more about playing golf in Ireland, log on to discoverireland.ie/golf.